So welcome everyone to the first preview show for the league this year. We're going to take a look at all the teams, see what everyone's bringing to the table, and then we'll have a nice little chit chat about all the players. Today I have with me Dave and Shoop, who are two managers who've been with us from the beginning.
Hola.
Hola.
The first teams we're going to look at today is Kay's team and Dan's team, the More Cowbell and the White Devils. Last year, Kay was the champion. She took down Crispin, who was 13-0 going into the playoffs, and just rode that train the whole way to the finals. And Dan was the winner of all the losers, which gave him first pick this year, in which he took Antonio Brown. Kay's has been hyping it up all season. She went running back heavy in the draft, took Le'Veon Bell, Lamar Miller, and Dan took Antonio Brown first and Cam Newton second. You got any thoughts on these guys?
I think personally, Brown is going to do very well. They're going up against the Redskins. So I think if Pittsburgh can keep a heavy passing game relevant up front and just come out like they have in previous seasons where they just throw the ball a lot, I think Brown will score most of his projected points, if not going over. As far as Newton, they're going up against Denver. Not too sure how that's going to match up, but Carolina has been a strong team in the past, so
I know the last time them two met, Denver just laid them into the ground like no
Right.
tomorrow.
But here's the other thing. Carolina has already now witnessed Denver 2 times from last year, I believe, if not was just the Super Bowl, but they already have that footage in the background, so they're better prepared for this opening
right. I guess it just
game
depends on
on
how much
Thursday.
work they did during the off season. So it'll be a good game to watch nonetheless. As far as projected points for Cam Newton, I'm not really too sure if he'll get his full 20 or if he'll surpass that.
It's the first game of the season, so I think he's going to get that full 20, if not more. I'm probably going to guess around 25, just purely because of it's the first game of the season. I don't think anyone's going to be pushing all that hard because they have 16 more games to go. So it's not going. Von Miller might get a couple sacks or whatnot, but I don't think they're going to be able to contain Cam Newton.
Yeah, Von Miller's pretty hungry, I assume. I know Dan has Demaryius Thomas playing tomorrow and Cam Newton, so that should be interesting to watch. On Kay's side, she doesn't have anyone playing tomorrow, but she does have the Los Angeles Rams playing on Monday, which is rather amusing if you watched Hard Knocks at all.
Yeah, didn't they lose like half of their defense?
I think you'd have more luck putting a brick wall out on the field than stopping people. So on her side, her pickup for this week was Ware from Kansas City, to running back. It seemed like Mark was trying to grab him, but then she got him just before he did. So I'm excited to see how he pans out for her. And Andrew Luck's going up against Detroit. Detroit's supposed to have a really good passing game this year because they don't have much of anything else going for them. And you got Diggs in there, but I don't think Sammy Bradford's playing yet, so that might be interesting.
I think Bradford's is on the bench this week. If not, it was just going to be all AP. Like, just feed the ball, feed the ball, feed the ball.
Feed the ball.
Don't throw it, Sam.
Don't get hurt feeding the ball.
Yeah.
All right, so anything else needs to, guys?
I'm ready for closing statement then.
Alrighty. So predictions. My guess is, looking at the two, Dan has some more weapons than what Kay does, but Kay has a better floor than what I think Dan will. So I think she might take him out Monday night with the Los Angeles Rams securing a interception for 6 in the fourth quarter. That's my prediction.
It being a PPR league and having Antonio Brown against the Washington defense, he's easily going to go off for 30 plus, if not 40. So I don't think there's any way Dan doesn't win this. Just with Antonio Brown alone.
Yeah, I guess it'll just all come down to how how well the Steelers can work with Brown this week. Personally, I think it's going to be a close match either way. With it being the first week and a lot of players going to be hitting their potential player caps as projected by Yahoo, I think we'll see a pretty close game either direction. But I'm going to have to go in favor of Dan's team. He's just got a little bit more powerhouses. So we'll see if the powerhouse team can hold up against the better floor of K's team.
I think the deciding factor is actually going to be the running backs because Dan has Ryan Matthews and Rashard Jennings, two mediocre / below average running backs versus Miller and Ware for K.
Right.
And those are two heavy run teams, so I think that's going to be the real deciding factor is the running backs.
That's a good point there. Well, I guess we have the battle of the two champions then this week. We'll see who comes out on top. So the next match we're going to look at is Jeremy Kaminsky and you, Dave. See how you guys are looking this week. A little silly walk.
I haven't looked at my lineup, so
Well, now's
I'll
as
be
good as
doing
ever.
that as we're going through it.
Yeah, just make your adjustments as we go. So, first glance here at the draft, I'm pretty sure you guys had middle of the pack picks. I don't really recall who you took in the first round. Oh, you took Gronk in the first round.
I had to take Gronk. It was the only good one available.
If I remember right, I think Jeremy took Allen Robinson. So that's two pretty solid
Correct.
picks. So looking at the teams, we got Jeremy's. We got Big Ben. He's a pretty big
You
name.
might want to refresh your lineups because I just changed out my running back.
Oops.
Just to make it a little more.
Oh, you put Melvin Gordon in there?
Yeah, I threw Melvin Gordon in there.
That's a good pickup. They were hyping him up this week, saying he's going to be like the Todd
I
Gurley
got
of
him
this
in
year.
the draft like 17th round.
Not bad.
All right, sorry. So go ahead.
Okay. So for this game, Jeremy has C.J. Anderson playing Thursday night. Denver's kicker and Denver defense. Looks like he's putting all of his bet eggs in one basket. And on your side, you got Calvin Benjamin, Carolina's kicker, and the Carolina defense. This should be a good game to watch tomorrow. First glance here, Jeremy has Latavius Murray, who's supposed to be really good this year, so he's going to be interesting to watch. If Jacksonville can fire on all cylinders again, Allen Robinson is going to be a good one to watch. And Big Ben, if he can actually play 16 games, he's going to be pretty solid.
So I think the only standout for any real variant will be either quarterback with Russell Wilson not really looking all that good in the preseason and Big Ben just being Big Ben, and tight end with Barnidge versus Gronk is going to be the biggest separator at this point. Everything else seems almost on par.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Looking across the board here, everyone looks pretty even, with the exception of the quarterbacks and the tight ends. I know in the past RG3 he kind of fed Jordan Reed in Washington, but not as much as what Cousins had. So I wonder if that's going to change up there in Cleveland for him.
Well, they also don't have Josh Gordon, so it might become a tight end heavy set, especially against Philly with that weak linebacker section and secondary.
What do you think, Shoop? Do you see anything that really stands out here?
No, not really. I mean, you guys pretty much hit the nail on the head with this one. I think it's going to be a pretty even matchup across the board. I think it might come down to their tight end performance to make or break. I mean, you've got Gronk with New England and Barnidge with Cleveland, both pretty strong tight ends. Gronk's a little bit stronger in the past, but so I think it's going to be a very, very close matchup. I think probably the closest out of all the matchups this week.
Yeah, the point differential right now is like 3 points or something, so it's pretty close on paper. I personally am going to have to go with Jeremy for this one, just because it looks like he has more firepower in the wide receivers. But C.J. Anderson might be his weak link, though. I don't think he's going to do much this year again.
I'm going past. It's my own team.
I'll vote for your team, Dave. So we're one
No,
for
honest
one on
opinions.
votes.
Honest opinions.
Alrighty. Off to the next one. Next one we got. Oh, this is going to be a good one. We got the Shiva Blast Mark and Grand Junction Crispin. These two guys seem to butt heads a lot. Not as much as Mark and Jeremy, though. Them two butts heads a lot.
Well, Mark has the interception master, so I think he's going to lose miserably.
Is that Eli Manning?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
first,
I'm predicting 3 interceptions for Manning this week.
oh, they're playing Dallas. It could happen.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Dallas can't catch a fly that's been dead for a week and a half.
One that was sitting in the fridge, even.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if the
They
fly's
can't catch a
back
bee
broken.
that's already in the jar.
So, first glance here, Mark's team is pretty good looking. Not too bad. They got Gary Olson on there from Carolina. Eli Manning, of course. Julio Jones.
The Julio Jones things, that's just ridiculous. I don't know how they can predict that much. I mean, it is Tampa Bay, but Tampa Bay's defense has been doing better, haven't they?
I mean, they can kind of stop people now. Kind of. But then you look on the flip side, you got Crispin's team as Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson.
Going to Jordy Nelson, he's got a double dip on Jacksonville. That's just going to be stupidly ridiculous this week.
He has Todd Gurley, Adrian Peterson. I think Mark should just sit this one out. You just put everyone on the bench and say, "Yep, see you next week. I'm done."
I don't know. I think his kicker's gonna save him this week.
Stephen Hauschka versus Miami, I don't think that's going to help him.
No, I think Crispin's gonna have this one. I think his weakest link is gonna be Manning. Mark's weakest link is gonna be Manning this week. I mean, Manning's always been an average quarterback, but I don't have a good feeling of him this year. To me, I didn't see too much of him in preseason, so I can't speak 100% accurate on it, but I just don't have a very good feeling for. I almost think that he should replace him with Stafford. I think Stafford is going to do a lot better than Manning.
Not against Dallas's defense. Dallas's defense has all four of their starting linemen on defense out. So they're all suspended. So
Well,
I
linemen
think
aren't
Eli
really
Manning's not going to
responsible for pick sixes, so.
No, but he has more than enough time to throw the ball.
I know the Giants have a really bad offensive line this year, they're saying. And he has Larry Donald up there as tight end and OBJ and Sterling Shepard now, so maybe he can spread the ball out a little bit. But
It's all going to be underneath passing, though.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Shoop. I would go with Matthew Stafford with his matchup against Indy. Because Indy's, they're all right,
That's
but
true.
they're not that great, though. I mean, he's going to have Marvin Jones and Golden Tate and whoever's the running back there now. It's going to be interesting between them two, I must say. On Crispin's side, he's pretty loaded, so I don't think we really have to discuss anything there. I think he's going to make a run.
I think Crispin's going to win this.
Yeah, he like projection-wise now, he's projected to lose by 5 points, but
I don't see how that's happening
Nah.
with Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson combo against Jacksonville. You have AP with a backup quarterback who's just going to get fed the rock, so he's going to get the ball 30 times and not have any issues, and it's just going to be constantly running. And then Todd Gurley against San Francisco. And we all know how Chip Kelly's defenses are.
Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly.
All right, so my pick for this guy is Crispin. I think he's actually going to make a run for the title this year. His team looks pretty stacked if everyone can stay healthy.
Week 1, Crispin over Mark.
I'm gonna have to say Crispin, but if Mark logs in before the next couple of days and replaces Stafford, I'm gonna have to say Mark's team. But I think Crispin has strong players all around that even if Mark makes that change, it's not going to make too much of a difference. But you never know. I think Mark would stand a significantly better chance without Manning this week. Maybe next week put Manning in, but I think this week he should definitely play Stafford to close the gap just a little bit more.
All right, so the next game we got on the list here is Batman vs. Shoop, who has a fantastic name, Harambe's
Harambe's
Bullet. You get the award for the best name this season, and it's not even week 1. So I know Batman won the draft with an A rating from Yahoo, and consensus say that if you get an A rating from Yahoo, it means you did really bad in reality. So we'll see how this goes for him. On his side, on his team, he got Drew Brees this year. He got Moncrief. David Johnson was his first-round pick, if I remember right. Devontae Freeman has the potential to blow up, but everyone's not really paying attention to him for some reason, which is really weird. And then over on Shoop's side, we got Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant. I'm surprised you don't got Tony Romo in there. I mean, you used to, but not anymore. Pretty much Jerry Jones over here. So, based on what I'm seeing here, I think Batman might get the edge. He looks a little bit more stronger in the running backs, but if Ezekiel Elliott and McCoy can light it up this season, I think Shoop's going to stand a good chance.
For this matchup, I would probably go with Dak Prescott over Carson Palmer and just take the full-on gamble. And just have that 1-2 punch against the New York Giants defense, which we really don't know anything about. They haven't meshed together very well. They have the best offensive line. I would just go with that 1-2-3 punch of Des Bryant, Ezekiel Elliott, and Dak Prescott for week 1, because it's the New York Giants. They have no safeties.
The New York Giants.
As you can tell, we don't like the Giants around here.
I don't think it's not
They have no
necessarily that we
defense.
like.
They spent $100 million on that front line, and no one knows what the hell's going on with them. They haven't meshed yet.
You know they're desperate when they bring back a guy who only has 8 fingers.
Exactly.
That should tell you something.
And
But,
he looked like crap last year after having 8 weeks off.
Yeah, he did.
I think he's lost a step. Or
Yeah.
technically 2 fingers.
That's pretty good. I know there's some people saying that Antonio Gates is going to have a tough game against Kansas City this week. Looking at his history, and your only other your tight end is Cameron from Miami. I think Antonio Gates is a safe pick there, even though Kansas City is kind of stingy to him. But he has Phillip Rivers there. Melvin Gordon's going to hopefully stretch the field. Well, not really stretch the field, but make everyone in the box so everyone else can stretch the field. So I think that's a pretty good, solid choice. And I gotta go with Dave. I would go with Dak Prescott over Carson Palmer because he's going up against New England, and we all know how Belichick is. You don't want to mess with Belichick.
Yeah, this is true, so I might make that switch.
Honestly, I would take the gamble on the 1-2-3 punch.
Yeah, I mean, it's week 1. I mean, you made it the whole way up to the Super Bowl last year taking gambles. I mean, why stop now?
Yeah, this is true. I took a kicker the first round last year, so just to keep things interesting.
So my pick for this game, I'm gonna have to go with Batman.
I'm going to have to go with Harambe here on this one. I mean, I'm looking at Batman's team. They're all nice, solid players, but there's nothing that stands out to me. I mean, Drew Brees and Cooks against Oakland, that doesn't excite me. Devontae Freeman is the only big standout. Jordan Reed, he's gonna throw out his knee after the first catch.
and get a concussion on top of it.
Yeah, probably.
all in the same stumble.
Yep.
Getting off the bench is what's going to do it for him.
They should just put like PQ for permanently questionable underneath him.
Or just give him a little rascal to ride around on the field with. Hike the ball. Okay, wait 20 seconds for Reed to get out 30 yards. What about you, Shoop? You gonna go against your team, or you gonna take a fifth with this one?
I'm gonna split it. I'm gonna split it on this one. If the 1-2-3 punch works, then obviously I'm gonna go with my team. I think. Okay, I think at the end of the day, I am gonna vote for my team, but it's gonna be heavily reliant on that 1-2-3 punch versus the Giants. Because that could work really really well. Like Dave said, the Giants doesn't have a strong presence on defense this year, so I think putting in a 1-2-3 punch from Dallas, or really any team against their defense, is going to just throw significant numbers up for whoever has those players. But Batman's got a stronger overall lineup, so. But I'll, you know, what, I'll bite the bullet. I'll bite Harambe's bullet, and I'll go for my team.
Alrighty, there you have it. So the last matchup for this week is probably my favorite matchup. It is myself versus Brother John. I personally like my team because I'm kind of biased. So we'll see how it goes. I took OBJ in the first round.
JD, how do you have the lowest point projection again?
Because Blake
Every
lies
year,
better.
every year, every week, you have the lowest point projection going into it.
I'm a gambler.
You're just suck at drafting.
Well, against the Magnum Dongs over there, I don't think having a large point projection would really do them any well.
Nah, because he has Magnum in his title.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were Magnum Dong. Never mind.
So, looking at this game here, I know John has Carlos Hyde filling in for his main running back this time around, and we all know how he's doing out there in San Francisco. He's not healthy. He's all beat up. You think he's gonna be able to turn it around before Monday?
That's asking a lot. I mean, a lot can happen over the next couple of days, but for him to make a full recovery by Monday, I mean, it's doable. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but
I mean, it's Chip Kelly. He's going to beat the shit out of him anyway, so it don't really matter.
okay.
Here, take the ball, run to the sideline, and then make a turn for -5 yards. And then run back to your own 20.
And then next season we'll trade you for a shitty linebacker.
Yep.
Hands down. So the most intriguing person I see on John's team is Kirk Cousins. I know towards the end of last year he was really starting to light it up and really starting to come around there. He had a really good touchdown to interception ratio. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it was like double digits to single digits like most of the other touchdown to interception ratios. But this one was really good though. He's going up
Well, here's the other thing. The thing Kirk Cousins was battling against last week was all 20th or worse teams last year. So he should, even mediocre quarterbacks should be able to excel against those teams and those defenses. So I still don't think that was a good gauge. Everyone says, oh, he did great in the second half of last year and all this other BS, but I just don't really see it.
Plus, he's going up against that Steeler defense, and make fun of him all you want, poke holes in their iron wall or iron curtain. I think
Steel curtain.
Shut up.
And you're a Steelers fan.
Come on, Steelers fan.
Brain's not really working. Anyway.
Get through our ironclad armor.
All hath the armor.
I think it's gonna be a very tight matchup for him, and I mean, for the past couple seasons, people have been picking our defense apart, but I guess it'll just come down to how well he can manage himself against that. And depends on if the Steelers want to set a strong precedence for defense right out of the gate. I don't see why they wouldn't, but they might play more conservative defense this year. So I think that'll be the deciding factor for Cousins, at least, is just how well that defense comes out onto the field.
Gonna do well if Jordan Reed can stay healthy too.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that Reed's gonna become the next Gronk this year, especially with Tom Brady's 4-game suspension.
I don't really see that happening. I mean, the guy gets hit in the head by a leaf and he's out with a concussion for 3 weeks.
They should just start him week 4 and just call it a day. Just let him
No,
get it out of the
they
system.
should replace his football helmet with one of those special ed helmets that they put on the little children.
Poor kids.
Why don't we just give him a tinfoil hat and give him a balloon and go around giving compliments to everyone?
Sarcastaball!
Nice job, everyone. Nice job.
Nice job.
Here you go. Go run it in for a touchdown.
Hooray.
All right.
I know. Like on my team, personally, I'm really excited to see how DeMarco Murray does after his down year last year. I kind of took a gamble on him because I know Tennessee's going to ground and pound it.
I think you'll be okay with DeMarco Murray because you have Mariota there as another run threat, so I don't think they'll always fully stack the box, especially with Murray's down year last year. So I think Murray will be able to get through that line and he'll be okay. I mean, I'm not the biggest Murray fan, never have been. You have to feed him the ball 30 times a game just to get him to do anything. But I mean, if they do that, everything should be okay.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right. Alrighty. So overall consensus, I'm gonna have to, I'm kind of biased. I'm gonna take my team in this one. What do you guys think?
I think this one's one of the closer coin flips, besides me and Jeremy K. Everything seems pretty much even. Quarterbacks, it's coin flip for both Blake Bortles and Kirk Cousins. Your saving grace might be OBJ against Dallas. You might get another 30 out of him. So
Dallas, if Dallas decides not to show up, but they probably will.
they never do. Their defense anyway. I think the Dallas Giants game is going to be one of those 45-49 games.
I think you're right, and that's gonna have a big ripple effect throughout all the games this week for us, anyways.
Yeah, it's going to, because it's just going to be fancy point stackers all
Yep.
up and down the board for both Dallas and
Well,
Giants teams.
So pretty much Shoop and me and Mark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Blake Lives Matter on this. I think, outside of Blake Lives actually mattering, I think, I think presence-wise, your running backs are gonna be significantly better than John's, and your wide receivers seem to be going up against teams that they're gonna do well against. OBJ specifically against that Dallas defense. It's like you guys have been saying. It's just gonna be a point race for both teams, so I think you're going to get a lot of points there, even down to your tight ends and your float positions. I think it's just going to be like you have a stronger lineup and a stronger chance to pull through strong in the week 1, but you can't really discredit a Magnum Dong because
He just kind of has to flop it out on the table and he already wins.
Exactly. So, but I think at the end of the day, I think Blake Lives is going to take Magnum Dong, probably by a spread of at least 7.5 points is what I'm going to call.
All right, so before we go, I have to make sure I make fun of Philly because I made fun of all the other NFC East teams. We're starting a rookie QB against Cleveland, so it's just going to be entertaining as all hell to watch him throw 4 pick sixes. And then a nice shot right off of Jordan Matthews' helmet for another pick 6. So there's 5.
Speaking of that, there was a caller on the Mike Missinelli show today who was like, "Oh, Cleveland's gonna put up 45 points," and Mikey's like, "No, they're not." And then you said that, and like, man, that could happen.
Yeah.
Crap.
I think it's going to be a good week 1 all around the board.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, fantasy's finally here, and we're finally back into the swing of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the NFC East is still going to remain the dumpster fire of the NFL.
They definitely win the MVP award for off-season, that's for sure.
Yep. Got to give them to there.
Let's throw away all of our draft picks and then trade for them all back. So we don't have any consistency throughout the rounds.
Hooray.
Picking 27th in the first, and then 13th in the second, and then second in the third. Yes, this is how I want to do my draft.
Alrighty, guys.
Well, thanks.
Have a good one.
Yep, thanks for coming out. We'll see you all next week.
This is McKee's Dumpster signing off. Thinking of a better sign-off name for next week.
This is Ask McFargendoogle.
Ah, that's
Bye-bye.
that's what it was. McFargle Dougal Fart signing off.
We'll have to go back and check the tapes for our names.
Here goes Tits McGee.